I'm here today to announce the appointment of David Weiss as a special counsel, consistent with the Department of Justice regulations governing such matters. Thank you.
If U.S. Attorney Weiss had the authorities he needed, why does he need to be a special counsel? Do you still have faith in U.S. Attorney Weiss after the deal?
Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So there's some huge developments regarding Merrick Garland and the appointment of a new special counsel in the Hunter Biden investigation. By the way, guys, thanks to everyone who's been subscribing and commenting. You guys are awesome, man. We truly appreciate the support. Now, down to business. So David Weiss has been named the new special counsel. So why would this be disappointing? Well, he's the very same person who previously offered Hunter Biden what everybody believes is a sweetheart plea deal. Very, very lenient, to say the least. And there's even talk from 2 IRS whistleblowers that have suggested that Weiss gave Hunter Biden preferential treatment. So now AG Garland has chosen him as a special counsel. So why is this a big deal? Well, because it could potentially reduce Congress's involvement. Congress was gearing up to subpoena Hunter Biden and had planned to interview David Weiss as well, coming up next month. But now, with him as a special counsel, there's a conflict there. He cannot testify to Congress. And a lot of Republicans, like Jim Jordan, for example, they're not thrilled about any of this move. And the left has given us a hard time for saying that, you know, we asked for a special counsel back in the day, but now we don't want it. And they pretend like everything happens in a vacuum, but there are reasons. And they're, you know, Congress is interpreting this as a way to pull the investigation away from Congress's hands and possibly delay any of the conclusions or any findings, any report, any charges till after the 2024 election. And, you know, my question is anyone even going to ask the government how they went from just days ago trying to sneak an undercover immunity deal past a federal judge to now expanding and protecting an ongoing investigation? We have to know how that happened and what the real story is. But, you know, there's this thought that it isn't really about Hunter, but more about safeguarding Joe Biden and his presidency coming into the next year's election. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. But some people feel that this appointment was made quietly and hoping that no one would really care. But here we are. We're all talking about it. And Garland says the move is about impartiality within the Justice Department. But there's a lot of skepticism with that as well. And why? Well, if impartiality was the real goal, wouldn't it make sense to appoint someone entirely unrelated to the case? I mean, this is historically what they do when cases get elevated to special counsel. They pick someone entirely unrelated. And the media, they actually covered this morning, and apparently they're not real concerned. Have a look.
Wow.
Right.
Let's start with David Weiss himself. He is the special counsel. As I mentioned, the Attorney General says explicitly, we have here in the supporting documents, that this is happening. The special counsel idea of a special counsel is happening because David Weiss, who is now the special counsel, asked for it. Given what happened in that courtroom, and frankly, what a mess it was, does it surprise you that he is still in charge of this case?
It does not. Look, anybody who's been an attorney or federal prosecutor has had something blow up with the defense, where you thought you had an agreement going into court, everybody was fine, you shook hands on it, and then you get in there, and just you sort of misunderstood each other. So that's not that alarming.
It fell apart.
Meanwhile.
Well, Margaret, good to be with you. It is an extraordinary turn of events when you consider the timeline. As you mentioned, just a few weeks ago, at the end of July, there was an effort by both the prosecutors and Hunter Biden's defense team to wrap up this years-long case with a bow until that plea agreement collapsed. The judge deferred a decision on whether to accept or reject it. And what we learned at that news conference just a few minutes ago from the Attorney General is that earlier this week on Tuesday, the U.S. Attorney David Weiss, who's been leading this investigation, approached him and said that he felt the investigation had reached a stage that he needed to continue his work with special counsel status. So what does that mean in the short term? What it means is that Weiss will ultimately deliver a report to the nation about his decision-making in the Hunter Biden case, whether he chooses to bring charges or he declines to bring charges, and that would involve congressional testimony.
But yeah, so there's that, you know, and they don't seem real concerned. How about you guys? Let me know in the comments what you think. But personally, I think that someone who genuinely seems committed to a thorough investigation without any of the previous baggage of trying to give the case away already and sneak a sweetheart plea deal with immunity past a judge. would have probably been a smart move. Anyway, I think, there really is growing sentiment, at least I believe, that the American people, we feel we're not being taken seriously. And the American people, they want Congress to be involved in this. And this absolutely short circuits this. But anyway, everyone's entitled to their opinion. And the situation obviously is super, super complex, but millions of people are upset with what they see coming out of the Justice Department. They're going to be upset with this. They feel like they're being played. And I feel like we're being played. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. Please share your perspective in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe. Most importantly, share the Common Sense Garage. We'll see you in the next one.